Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is on the Great Lakes Gardener channel. Is going to be an episode on how to grow an apple tree from seeds from an apple. And this is going to be part 1 because this is going to be a series. I'll update you on the seeds that I actually get out from this apple. Well, technically from a different apple because I already have seeds started from a different apple. Except those are already in a paper bag and I'll show you those. But just for the sake of demonstration how to get started, I'll demonstrate on this apple. So first off, what you'll need is just an apple, of course. And this is an ambrosia apple. There's no label on it, but I peeled it off. I washed it, and now I'll take out the seeds. So let's get into it. First thing you need to do is cut open it. Well guys, this may be a little bit disappointing, but I only got 2 seeds from one apple. So I will be demonstrating with 2 seeds, not much more. I will be not cutting open another apple because I don't think my family will eat that much apples before they get bad. So I really don't want to waste food. So sorry about that, but I think 2 apples will still do the trick. So the next thing with the apple seeds, you need to test for their viability. And technically you could just put them in the soil, and if they grow or not is a pretty good check of viability, but you need to wait, and that will take quite a bit. So what you need to do is take your seeds and put them in a cup of water. Now, if the seeds sink, that means they're viable, and the seeds are dense inside, that means they have a seed inside. And if they float, that means they're hollow on the inside, or rot has got to them and something's wrong. And as you can see, these 2 seeds have both sunk. Hopefully you could see that. They're at the bottom right there. Right there, they're at the bottom. So these 2 seeds have sunk, and that means they're viable. So make sure to do that to your seeds because definitely not all seeds are viable. So once you've cut out your apple seeds from your apple and tested for the viability in a cup of water, now you will need to actually get them ready for sprouting. And in order to do that, it's really simple. All you need to do is get a small piece of paper towel, or depending on how many seeds you have. If you have 2 seeds like me, then you'll definitely use a small piece of towel, and you'll just fold it over once. And I find that the easier if you fold it over once, because if you fold it over many times, and once it gets wet, which we will do in a couple of minutes, once it gets wet, then it's just really hard to unravel it without breaking and just ripping up the paper once it's wet. So I just recommend folding it over once. So now what you will do is simply dip this in the same water, or you could run it under a faucet, whichever your choice is. And as long as you get this wet. And the reason for that is it's going to technically imitate or enhance like the natural environment over a seed would grow in the soil. Nice, wet, and dark. Put it in a dark place, which really helps. What I also forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is try using an apple that is sitting in your fridge for several months, because that acts like a winter for the seed. And make sure that apple is in the fridge, because if the seed is in the fridge with the apple, then that is sort of like a winter. And if you put it out into nice warm dark environment, that is imitating the soil and springtime, and then it sprouts. So I found that method to work the best, and you should definitely try that, because I have tried using fresh apples which have not really worked. Maybe they will work, but it'll take much longer time in the paper towel, which they could rot in the meantime. So I'll definitely recommend that technique. Sorry for the noise in this room. The heater is going, so there's a little bit of a rumble, but hopefully you can hear me. And what you need to do now is, as I showed you, moisten the paper towel. And the thing is, don't make it soaking wet, or if you do make it soaking wet, wring out some of the water so it's not completely soaking in water in your paper bag, because that could enhance the growth of mold and just fungus that you definitely don't want on your precious seeds. So now what you will want to do is slide this in a Ziploc bag. Make sure it's not one of those bags that are open, because those bags can get some air in, and those things tend to dry out. And once they dry out the seeds, it's less likely for them to keep growing and to germinate. So what you'll need to do now is put in the seeds into the bag. Alright guys, so once you put it into the bag, another hint that I'd like to give you, or not a hint, just a tip, is leave some air in the bag. As you can see, I left some air in it, and the reason for that is, again, to reduce the growth of mold and fungus, because that, again, is not beneficial for your seeds, for germinating and for sprouting. So you're pretty much done with this. Now all you need to do is put it in a dark place that is nice and warm, which it is kind of hard to find those areas because most places are warm or have light and windows in. But I would recommend a closet. That is a perfect place. So now I'll be showing you guys the seeds that I have done earlier, a couple weeks ago, that have actually sprouted, and I'll put them in the soil, and that's where we will continue this series from. As you can see, guys, these are the seeds I did a couple weeks ago in a Ziploc baggie, the same method I showed you, and in fact you can see there's a little sprouting stem right on top of that seed, and that will be the seed that's going into the soil. So we'll do that next. As you can see, guys, these are containers where I'm going to be putting in the seeds, where I did put in the seeds actually, and this is where the series will start from. I'll be updating you guys through the summer and winter on this, so stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next episode.